In the icy land of Snowflake Bay, where the sun glimmered on frozen waters and the wind sang through the snowy mountains, lived a little penguin named Piko. Piko was unlike any other penguin in his colony because while other penguins were happy sliding on their bellies, playing in the snow, and swimming in the chilly sea, Piko had a dream far bigger than the world around him. Piko wanted to fly. Every day, he watched the seagulls flap their wings and soar in the sky. He saw albatrosses glide for miles without stopping, and he saw snow petrels dance in circles above the waves. Piko's tiny heart filled with wonder every time he looked up. One day, he whispered to himself, "I will fly just like them." The other penguins would laugh whenever Piko spoke of flying. "Penguins can't fly," said Piko, the tallest penguin. "We're meant to swim, not soar," giggled Lila, the fluffiest chick. Even Piko's parents smiled and patted his head gently. "Dreams are nice, Piko," they said, "but some things are just not possible." But Piko refused to believe that. Every morning, before the others woke up, he climbed the tallest icy cliff he could find. He flapped his little wings as hard as he could and jumped, only to tumble down into the soft snow below. Instead of feeling sad, he brushed off the snow and said, "Tomorrow I'll flap harder." Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Piko tried everything. He tied leaves to his wings to make them bigger. He built a wooden glider from driftwood and seaweed. He even tried jumping off a floating iceberg, thinking maybe the ocean wind would carry him up. But no matter what he tried, he always ended up back on the ground or in the water with a splash. One evening, after a long day of trying, Piko sat near the shore with his feet in the icy water. He watched a group of seagulls flying above and felt a small tear roll down his cheek. "Maybe they were right," he whispered. "Maybe penguins really can't fly." Just then, a wise old albatross named Alaric landed beside him. Alaric had heard Piko's story from the other birds. "Why so sad, little one?" he asked. "I've tried and tried to fly, but I always fall," Piko replied. "Maybe I'm just not meant to be like the others in the sky," Alaric smiled gently. "Do you know why I can fly, Piko? Because I have wings made for flying. But do you know what you have that I don't?" Piko blinked. "What?" "You have wings made for swimming. You can glide through water faster than I could ever dream of. You can dive deep and dance with the fish. Some birds belong to the sky. But you, Piko, belong to the sea." Piko had never thought of it that way. Alaric continued, "Everyone is born with their own strengths, their own magic. The trick is not to dream of someone else's wings, but to discover the power in your own." Those words settled into Piko's heart like a warm blanket. The next morning, instead of climbing the cliff to jump again, Piko ran toward the ocean. He spread his flippers and leaped into the water. Whoosh! He glided like lightning, twisting, spinning, rolling with joy. The sea welcomed him like it had been waiting all along. Suddenly, all the other penguins gathered, watching in amazement. "Look at Piko go!" shouted Lila. "He's faster than the waves," said Piko. Piko wasn't flying in the sky, but he was flying underwater. The water was his sky, and he was finally soaring. From that day on, Piko became the fastest swimmer in Snowflake Bay. Whenever the young penguin chicks felt sad because they couldn't do something, Piko would smile and say, "Don't try to be like someone else. Find the gift that belongs only to you." And every once in a while, Piko still looked up at the birds, not with jealousy, but with pride. Because he had learned the most beautiful lesson of all. You don't need to fly like a bird to be amazing. You just need to learn to fly in your own way. Moral of the story: you don't have to be like others to be special. Accept who you are, discover your own strengths, and the world will see you shine in your own way.